This is about you, me, we, and our untapped potential. This is the huge upside. So, everyone, welcome back. As usual, Mikhail from the huge upside. How's everybody doing?
Yeah,
Thank you for
Mikhail
coming
from the huge
back.
upside.
Oh my god. He just You just destroyed my cover, bro. I was about to give this wonderful intro of you. On the other side of the world is JWOLF. That was that voice, by the way. Hey, man, thanks for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, of course. I really am happy to be here, man.
Really? I have to ask, like, is this your first, or
My
you been
first.
on other or you been
Oh
on like
yeah.
other podcasts, like and stuff?
This is my first one like by myself. I was on
Oh,
one.
cool.
I think like a couple years ago. So I'm definitely new at this. I'm
Oh,
happy. I'm
really?
happy to be here though.
Yeah, it's cool, right? Like, um, in what I do, like what we usually do here, this genre of media is like so novel in the Philippines, bro. And
Mm,
it's like we're giving people their firsts every time like they hop on the show. Like I get to be like the guy, or we get to be the platform to give people their first experiences, and it's such an honor, man. And even we've had like your guy Pizza over, and
of
even
course.
even him have to like ask to be here. Like, who are we? I always I always play this gratitude game, man, and just want to extend my gratitude to you, bro. Thanks for accepting our invitation. Our plan is like to talk to every one of y'all.
You're trying to get the whole set, the whole collection.
Oh, for sure. I mean, yeah, for
I
sure.
respect that. I mean, yeah. Thank you so much for having me. And like, yeah. Uh, I saw the episode you did with Pizza Palace, Lewis, and I saw the interview
Lewis.
you did. I saw a bit of the interview you did with Trescoda, and I think
Oh,
Danny
that
was
dude.
on there as
Have you met
well.
him in person though? You've been in the
Yeah,
Philippines,
yeah,
right?
yep, yeah. I was just in the Philippines. I got to meet him. Super nice guy. Super nice guy. So yeah,
Chill.
you have really great conversations and it's just a great vibe. I'm happy to be here. I
Oh,
think I've said that
thanks,
like
man.
3 times, but it's true.
Oh, sure. Like, please flatter us more. Like, we need that. Actually, like, bro, like what we do. I mean, is seriously not a normal thing around these parts. Like,
Speak
I
on that.
mean, we don't want to get validated every time. Like, it's not about the validation or the credit, but it's such a it's such a good thing to hear every now and then. Like, people get that kind of reaction. You know, um,
Yeah,
the dominant genre still in the Philippines is still YouTube, and right now TikTok is just killing everyone. You know what I'm
hmm
saying?
it's like
Uh,
that over in the U.S. too. TikTok is
really?
taking over. I mean, it
Yes.
already kind of has.
This is funny. Like, I thought they banned that over there.
They, they. You're saying they banned TikTok?
Yeah.
Nah, definitely not.
No, they
I was.
can't.
It's like 7:30 right now in the morning, and before I hopped on this, I was on TikTok for a bit. So
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
definitely
uh,
not banned.
how's your behavior on TikTok though? Like, you doing your own content, or like you just a steady consumer?
Uh, I'm in the process, and we can obviously like speak on this more later. But I'm like still a relatively new artist. Like I'm still within like the
Oh,
first
yeah.
year of me putting out music with my own like voice on it and stuff like that. Uh, but yeah, right now I'm mostly a consumer. But I've been making some content that I'm like pretty happy with.
Right. It's tough to imagine uh like almost 5 years ago or 10 years ago, we just viewed this device as just a communication tool, and now you can just basically do everything with it.
Yeah, you can really do anything with it, for good and bad. You know.
Yeah, the pros and cons. You did
Yeah.
mention that you're just new into this artist life. uh
Mm.
if I'm not wrong, is that 7 years? You're in seven. I'm sorry, 7 months. You're or more than that.
I think yeah, whatever last like June 2022 is, that is like when my first single with Cookies came out, and that was like that marked the whole era that I'm in right now.
Yeah.
That was
Can't
Sacrifices back then.
can't, can't seem to stop, huh?
Yeah, I love making music, and I was doing it before. I was doing like
Right.
production for other people, but you know, it feels good to let myself be heard and to express myself in this way.
Oh, for sure. Uh, I gotta ask. So you've entertained the thought of music since how old were you? Around this time.
Um, like I think it has to be like 9 or 10 years old. Like I think that
Fair.
ever since I was well, okay, I have like a weird relationship with music. Let me tell you this. So I was not. I have like a very traditional parents, and obviously
Oh my
there's like
God.
different.
All right, we need to
Yeah,
talk about this, bro. We seriously need to talk about this.
yeah, for sure. I mean, it's like obviously like different levels and different definitions depending on where you live, what your situation is.
Right.
But one of the ways it like manifested for me was like I wasn't allowed to listen to music that wasn't classical for the first like decade of my life. So I wasn't really exposed to many different types of music. I was just listening to, not opera, but like symphonies and
Oh,
classical
Beethoven
pieces.
stuff or what?
Yeah, Beethoven stuff, Bach,
Botch?
Mozart. Yeah, all the classics. Um, and I do think that that has given me like an ability to hear out melodies and stuff and to think of things on the spot,
Yeah.
which
Those
was
things come in
pretty
handy,
helpful.
man.
Yeah, for sure. But it definitely, I think the first song that I really attribute my like love for music is the song Dynamite by Teo Cruz. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. It
Oh
was
yeah.
yeah, it was a
Yeah.
big hit.
It's
And when I heard
upbeat
that song,
song.
yeah, upbeat song, definitely no classical instruments in that. So it was very yeah, it was very new. And from there I just started like consuming as much music as I can. So I was just a music fan for like the like two, well, I'm a music fan still, but I was just straight consuming music for like 2 years. And it wasn't until I found like K-pop that I started thinking, whoa, there's like other Asian people that are making music and doing it well. And that
Okay, so
kind of,
you were in this kind of bubble though of classical music, and for you there existed nothing outside of this.
yeah, I mean, I think like it's unavoidable, right? Like you might hear a song on the radio and stuff, but it would always be like the channel will always be switched from that. In the
Right.
house, there's only played like a certain type of music. So yeah, it's not that I didn't know there were other types of music. It's just I
Okay.
wasn't like really actively exposed to anything besides that.
But there's nothing like it, right? Like, you become a historian yourself. Like, oh man, I gotta get more. I gotta listen to more of these. Like,
Yeah, I mean, imagine listening to like old school Eminem, hopping
uh,
straight from listening to a Bach composition. It's definitely a culture shock.
oh, definitely. I mean, I think the world is about like 3 to 5 years ago, because I think the current uh, culture of society is hip hop. I mean, who would have
Oh
thought?
yeah, it's like uh oh, what was
Took
that?
over. It just took over, right? Like hip hop
Yeah,
just took over everything.
yeah. I mean, it's definitely like the it's the culture right now. I mean, I
Yeah,
think it's been the culture for a long time, but now
it's
over the
official.
last. Yeah, it's because money's backing it. Like
Right.
brands are backing it, fans are backing it. I think it's. I could be wrong. I think it's like the number one sold genre in the world, or at least in the US. It's huge. It's huge.
I don't think you're speculating on that one. I think it's a fact. It's 100% fact. Like it just took over everything, and I don't know for how long hip hop can hold it down though, because you know what they say, like hip hop used to be the devil's music, and its predecessor, I think, before that, like it was like rock,
Yeah,
and
they're always saying the new stuff is, gonna rot
yeah.
people's brains
So
and stuff.
what's on the radar right now? Like any existing music that everybody deems like shit that fucking sucks or that's taboo. Like, I'm never listening to that, or I'll never in my life like play that.
I mean, if I'm being honest, I don't really listen to too much radio. I'm
All
listening
right,
to Spotify mostly. So, like I'm streaming most of my music. I think most people are, at least younger people are.
right. Yeah, but that's weird though, cause it's Spotify's fault, bro. All of these, like Spotify was they actually started this shuffle kind of playlist, right? They just feed you songs after songs, and then it suddenly just becomes like a fast food. And then if you don't like a song, you could just skip, and then they suggest you different genres until like your friend's playlist will end up in your on your phone. Like it's so funny how I mean platforms like that just change the whole narrative of music. And I don't know who's gonna take over hip hop. Is it going to evolve? Like how is it going to evolve? Or will
Well, I think
K-pop
that,
take
like,
over though?
yeah, I mean, I think that, in many cases, I'm definitely against like the concept of things becoming like, fast fashion, or like fast food, where it
Yeah,
becomes just very easily accessible. But I do think that, aside from it becoming like music that is made specifically for streaming, or music that's made specifically for TikTok, which I don't think there's like too much of, at least not that I listen to. I
right,
kind of like. I think that streaming is good. Like these platforms like Spotify, they like personalize things. They make it so you can find artists that you may have never heard if you
right.
were just stuck listening to the radio, or stuck listening to CDs and stuff. So yeah, I mean, I've discovered probably hundreds and hundreds of artists just through Spotify alone, the algorithm and stuff like that.
Sure,
You know, it,
yeah,
it-
it's
it's
wild.
it's potentially like scary, like
Yeah,
the algorithms and
it's a rabbit hole of a playlist, and then another rabbit hole of a playlist, and then it just doesn't stop, right? Like the ability of people to just like pin songs to their playlist and then discover people's preferences too. Like, oh, you shit, like I didn't know M listened to this or that stuff.
uh, what are you listening to right now?
Me, to be honest, like I've I have no preference right now, bro. And I don't. to be honest, I don't even. I'm not even an OG hip hop fan. It just so happens like most of the folks I talk to today are like into hip hop and stuff, and I kind of see that the what I do is kind of parallel to hip hop, bro.
Speak on
This
that.
yeah, this genre of podcasting, because yeah, of course you gotta hustle, you gotta put shit out there, like do the content, talk to people, get rejected and all that. But I kind of realized later on that I think it's not just hip hop; it's music. Um,
Mm.
what we do is parallel to music, and my music of late, what I listen to, I don't think this will come off as a surprise. It's all podcasts, bro. Like that's music in
Mm.
my ears now. Like I just have this strange addiction to listening to people talk, and I think I have a natural ability to like absorb information, auditory information. Cause are you a fan of books? You like reading and stuff?
I wish I read more. My
All right,
girlfriend loves reading. She keeps trying to get me into it. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. I read a
right,
lot as a kid, But I
Right.
think like school and stuff took a lot of that love away from
Oh
me.
yeah, yeah. But that's the thing too. Like, it should it should be something that you love.
Yeah.
Reading should be fostered as something as a passion. I have a passion for reading. But I guess what for yeah, we can talk about school later too. And it's just there's something wrong with that system though.
Yeah.
Clearly. And even like even folks who are successful in hip hop, they didn't even go to school for hip hop. Like, these things you learn
Mm.
in the streets, like the actual life. Like school of life, right?
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of ways to get an education.
True. It's where I get my education a lot too. Like, but I have to say, like, it's a bubble too, and it's definitely good to be like flexible and diversify where you get your information from. I also like, I mean, the visual pull is so strong. Like, we consume a lot of YouTube too, right? Like,
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like that.
decent amount.
Yeah. How old are you, bro?
I'm 22.
Oh shit, you're so young, man.
Yeah,
Whoa. Huh?
I just gotta like when Sacrifices came out, and I can tell the story later. But when Sacrifices came
Please
out,
do.
what was that?
Please do.
Oh
Tell us.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, so I was in uh like my senior year of college, right? Um, and I had no idea what I was gonna do. You know, when I got out, I was applying to jobs and different internships and stuff like that, and
Right.
nothing was really panning out. I was getting some leads, and I was like, okay, I guess this is kind of where things are going after college. I was making music like the entire time, kind of obsessively, which I think is important. Kind of touching on what you were
True.
saying before.
Yeah.
Uh, you all you listen to is podcasts. I think that's like super kind of valid if you're wanting to make like the best
Yeah.
podcast. You need to learn all the time. So yeah, in like my last year of college, we were back in person, after all the lockdown stuff, and I was kind of still in lockdown in my mind. I was just still in my room, just like making music all the time, either making beats, making songs, demos, well, reaching out to people, and um, it got to this point where I was working with Cookies, right? We were working like
Yeah.
on this
How'd
project.
you and Cookies hook up? Like,
Oh yeah,
there's got to be a
it's
story though, cause we can clip this and tag him.
yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, Cookies is a legend already. He's a great dude. Um, the way that we met was honestly like pretty lucky. Like it was completely fortunate.
Really?
We met through this online festival that we were both like taking part in. This was before Sabat Daddy, so he
Yeah.
was,
Yeah.
yeah. It was way before, and we just my set, or I was part of this production group, and our set was right before
Is
his.
right.
So we were in this live stream, and he was just watching our set. And afterwards, he DMs me and is like, "Oh, your set was super cool.
Right.
Did you produce these songs?" And I was like, "Yeah, I produced just
Oh,
about all
fire.
of them, most of them." And um, yeah, and he was like, we need to work. Like, you need to send me a pack right now. And I was like, okay. So I sent him a pack of, I think like 12 beats, and
Oh
he liked like 8 of them. And I was like, oh, that's a good amount. So yeah, so we hopped into Discord, right?
the Bake Shop Studios.
Well, this is the thing. He didn't have the bake shop yet. It was
Not
his
yet.
first,
Oh.
it was his first time downloading Discord.
Oh,
So I was
cool.
there
Whose
at like
channel? Whose channel was this?
we just made like a group, just
Oh,
me and
okay,
him,
cool.
yeah. And basically, like, I was there the first day the bake shop got born, because
Oh
it was
man.
right after he got Discord that he wanted to like set up his own
Right.
community on there, and that's how everything got started. But uh, as soon as we hop in like our session, our virtual Zoom session, because at this point he was in Atlanta, uh, he was like, "Yo, I really like your beats, but this dude Lewis just sent me a beat, and like it goes so crazy. We need to make something on it." I was like, "Oh man, okay, like that's fine." Because at this point, I was just like,
Did you and Lewis know each other at this point?
no, I didn't know
Oh
Lewis at
shoot!
this point. Yeah, yeah. So this was like a point where like
Oh my
everything kind
god!
of started to come together. So unbeknownst to me, this Lewis Pizza Palace produced track. It was like it was great. And at that point, I had not put my vocals on like anything really. Like, I had made a few demos and stuff, but basically I uh, started writing for him. I started I started not for him, but I started like coming up with ideas for the track. And I came up with this hook. I was like, oh, like I do everything that I can. I was like, oh, there's like there's something here, right? And
Right.
I just sent him like a vocal demo of me singing it, and he was like, yo, like this is really fire. Like you should sing it. I was like, what? I've never done anything like this before. So I was
And he
like,
never heard
okay.
you sing yet.
Nah, he
That was
hadn't
the
heard me
first time.
sing until that very moment. Most people hadn't really heard me sing up until that moment. So that was literally the first song that we made together. And from there,
Just took off,
we,
bro. You got
yeah,
like
like
it's like
it
four hundred
just,
thousand streams on Spotify.
I, I can't believe it. Yeah, it's at like 400,000, and it was literally the first song that we ever made together. It's nuts.
Wow. I got um, I got a segue. I'm just gonna hit off on a tangent here.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh, Having you like, I bet like, are you used to like having a lot of people like appreciating your songs before you met Cookies though?
I mean, before I met Cookies, I had like put out a few demos, I
Right.
put out a few things just out there when I was feeling like confident or like when I was feeling
Yeah.
like, oh, I want to share these. Because I mentioned before, I was doing mostly production and
Right.
stuff. So yeah, so when I put my vocals on stuff, it was a big moment for me.
Right.
And so yeah, like at that point, not too many people had heard what I was doing, but yeah, I think it was like a generally good reception. I think that's
Yeah.
something that like also pushed me forward was that
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah. Because these I'm not sure, man. Because that's why I'm so curious. Because I'm not an artist, so
well, you're an artist. You're an artist in your
in
own way.
in
Like
my own right, right? Yeah.
this is your art form, bro.
Thanks, man. But I'm not like a hip hop artist or a producer of sorts. But um, I kind of very curious, like when when an artist blows up and then you get these crazy numbers, right? Does it
Yeah.
mess with your head?
Um. No, like not at all. At least, I mean, maybe the best people to ask are the people around me, but I don't think so at
Right.
all. Like,
Yeah.
I think just in terms of I think it's because I don't believe I'm still so new, right? Like
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Sacrifices came out literally like 8 months ago or something like that. So it's like when I really think about it and when I really like look at things, it's like I still have my own mark to make, Like
Right.
I had these singles that are doing well. I had this project that's like doing really well. It's like close to hitting like 1 million streams or something like that,
Yeah.
and I have like so many people to thank along the way, like Cookies,
For
Pizza
sure.
Palace, a lot of people, and I really think that I still have so much more to do.
For sure.
I still have like to develop myself as an artist. I still have my own like statements I want to
Yeah.
make. So yeah, I think I'm still hungry for it,
You're.
and
Yeah.
yeah,
It's tough because a lot of folks when they get those outrageous numbers, like it just transforms them. You know,
Yeah.
um, uh, judging by you, like like this is our first time to like even like hop on a podcast. Like, what we'll be doing, like DMing each other. That's it,
Yeah,
like
yeah. Yeah, just
liking
in the
each other's
DMs.
stories. But I'm not a good judge of character, but you know, I don't think these numbers will bother you at all. It's just so strange that I'm so weirded out by people's reactions because we live in an age where it's a social media age. Like, like
Yeah.
everybody gets everybody's out in the public. Like whether you like it or not, like are just going to people have the confidence to like or dislike or leave negative comments
Mm.
on your profile picture or something you post. And like some folks, I'm guilty of this. Some folks such as myself or others like like me, like numbers mess really like fuck with my head.
Mm.
I've had to like have sit myself down and like really talk myself out of it. Like plus distractions help, um really, because these are wild numbers, bro. What an introduction to your singing career.
Yeah. I mean, I think the thing is that I'm comfortable with the fact that it might be a long time before I see numbers again. You know, like
Right.
it
Yeah.
like it's all subjective. You know, I
and,
could put
and and
out.
that's why I ask you though, because
Yeah.
it's that's why I appreciate the grind,
Yeah.
starting with zero. And um people are gonna celebrate when you hit the 1 million mark or a 1 million
Hmm.
milestone. Like, full, like I've been doing this all my life. Like I don't even
Hmm.
celebrate anymore. But when you're handing this kind of success early on, whether it's your passion, like I don't know, man. Like kudos to you. Like you weathered it though.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like we put together this project and we put a lot of effort into all of these songs, and then it was a great experience. I had a great time with it.
Yeah, rightfully so. And where were we? So, a quick question though. I'm really bad with. I think I made a huge mistake. Like, I'm lately I find myself slipping, and I
Mm,
actually don't do my research. Like,
mm.
I should be the human serviette. Like a Nardwar kind of dude.
Yeah, not more
Yeah.
type.
Yeah, but lately though, I think I made a big mistake. Like I haven't done my actual research on pizza, and I actually
Mm.
all this time thought he was Filipino. You know, and
Oh,
yeah, and you also give off those vibes, bro. But I'm really curious. Like, I don't know if this is offensive kind of thing, where
no,
you're
go for
from,
it.
like to ask like what your nationality is, but here in the Philippines, man, I don't know if it's racist or something. To like, we get
Mm,
really curious if it's people from outside the country. Like, oh, where's he
yeah.
from? Like, oh, he looks good or she looks good. Like, I want my children to look like that. Like we
Hmm.
get fascinated by other nationalities. So that's why, like, I think this is where my curiosity comes in. Like, oh, you're Asian for sure. Like, what's your origin, bro? Like, where to? Your roots.
Yeah, I'm just half Korean. That's it.
Oh,
Yeah, like not same as Pizza Palace because I don't think he's half, but his origin is also from Korea. So
right.
yeah, yeah, just half Korean.
Are you getting a lot of love from the Korean demographic though? Like, oh my God, it's JWOLF. Oh,
Uh,
he's gonna
I,
redefine K-pop.
yeah, I haven't made my move out to Korea or anything yet. So we'll see. But I mean, like yeah, K-pop in that area is kind of a big place of where I started with this all. So like yeah, that would be great. That'd be super cool.
Right. The tour. Have you been on a physical tour already? Like, have you guys toured?
Well, it's crazy because when I went to the Philippines, to like back in uh October of last year or November of last year, one of the two. I was supposed to like go visit Mike Swift and Pizza Palace on tour.
Didn't he invite you guys?
Yeah, yeah, like we were supposed to visit with him, and he was coming down to do a show with Cookies and a few other artists. And so I went to visit Cookies and the bake shop, and visit that area. But then it was around that time that like a typhoon hit. uh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. I think I remember this. Yeah.
yeah, that's crazy that you're saying you think you're like, oh, was there a typhoon or wasn't there? Because that would be a huge deal here. Like when I first went to the Philippines and there was a typhoon, I didn't know how to act, man. I had no idea what was going on.
I mean, on behalf of the Filipinos, bro, like I feel bad for it because as like we're like really hospitable
Yeah, a
around
hundred
these
percent.
parts. Like we love visitors. Like I don't know, man. There's just something in this culture. Like we just love to see. Like we call them dayo. Like
Mm,
you come visit us. But it's just something when you have a visitor, and just that sucks to have like your first visit, your first experience to have like a freaking typhoon, and they get really bad here too. We get
mm.
them like once or twice at least a year.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, uh, it was still a wonderful visit. I mean, yeah, the
Really?
hospitality was definitely like shown there. I mean, and yeah, I was just going to the studio, the bake shop studio, like, and back to my the place I was staying, like back and forth, back and forth.
So Cebu though, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, but I'm trying to go back like ASAP. So like following up on what I was saying, I couldn't go on any tours because a lot of the shows or the flights and stuff they kept on getting canceled.
right.
So yeah, but I'm trying to go back. If anyone is touring in the Philippines, I'm trying to hop on.
Yeah. I have cookies is it's really on a roll right now. Like doing shows here and there. Like it's all I ever see. They keep dropping content after content after content. It's
Yeah, that
something.
dude is something else. He goes really hard with his shows, and yeah, he's really on top of his content. It's inspiring for sure.
What he's able to assemble though, that the Bake Shop Studios,
Mm,
what started as something like a Discord channel,
yeah,
just really the way it manifested in the physical form, bro. It's gotta be like uh you must be on some different level type of shit to be able to like get these people together, and not just
yeah,
ordinary folks, like real talented people too, like in their own right, probably given a certain, maybe a moment in time, could be their own version of a cookies themselves, like it's
yeah.
really
I mean,
talented people.
he's definitely. It looks like he's cultivating this like next generation, which is
Yes,
super dope. I mean,
he
I
means
got
he
to
means so
meet.
much to us.
What was that?
He means so much to us.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah,
mean he really cares about community and about the people that he works with, and yeah, it's really cool to see. I got to meet a lot of the bake shop members when I'm working with a lot of them now. It's a great
right.
community that
It's
has all
crazy,
been built
man.
up.
You still get to do their thing, like even like just virtually. God,
Yeah,
technology.
yeah, I think it's because I started like through Discord and stuff that it's like honestly one of the most comfortable methods for me, which is like
Oh,
yeah, I like talking with people online. I like um working with people online. Like it's comfortable.
so
Some
this
people
is
don't
this
find it comfortable.
really? How so?
Well, because a lot of people, especially in music, they want that like that physical, like, oh, we're in the studio
Right,
together, that
vibe and
like
stuff.
bouncing off ideas. But I like I like that too. I've been to a few sessions, but I'm okay with, I think that
Yeah,
we can get our
this kind of
ideas
setup.
across. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Would you attribute that though to like obviously the generation you're in, like
Mm.
you would call yourself a Gen Z, right?
I think I'm like on the tail end of that for sure. Yeah, I think so.
Right. Yeah. You guys are like so well versed with technology, like so insane. Like you come into, you're fresh off from school, or you, like you guys are well equipped for the this world. Like I'm old, bro. Like I'm in my 30s. I'm in my
Bro,
mid
you look
30s.
that's oh well. First of all, second of all, you look great. Like you look
Oh, for
healthy.
sure. Thanks, man. Like I really try to keep in tip top shape. Like
Yeah.
I punish myself in my workouts. I really try, but you can only do so much. And what I'm trying to do this podcast is the same thing. It's tough to balance that, and plus,
Mm.
work life balance and all that stuff. But where was I before we hit off on that tangent? Yeah, you're a Gen Z yourself.
Mm.
You're so well versed with you guys are so well equipped. Like like our generation, the millennials, like we're so envious of you got your ability, the ability of the Gen Z to be just so digitally savvy, man. Like there's nothing like it. Like we have to hire, like for me, like I have to like collaborate with a videographer. I have
Mm.
to like collaborate with the sound engineer. I have to collaborate with a creative designer who does design. Like, but most of the Gen Zs right now are like that complete package. Plus they sing, plus they produce, plus what can they do? What the fuck, man? Like,
Yeah,
what
yeah.
do you guys what's your childhood like? Like, what do you consume, like aside from the classical music? And then like, can you describe like how you were growing up, like before and when you discovered music, and then the kids you were hanging out with, and the technology and the hobbies you were dabbling around with?
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely like speak on it from like a perspective of someone that was kind of like raised by the internet. I think that's probably the biggest difference, right? I think that obviously every generation becomes better with technology or becomes like
True.
more apt than the previous one. But I also think that because technology, like during when I was like a kid, like grew so quickly, like
Right.
so exponentially, that yeah, I mean, it comes with its pros and cons, you know, like being raised by the internet in many respects. But yeah, when I was a kid, I just spent a lot of time like on YouTube. I spent a lot of
uh
time like yeah, because you can learn stuff on there. There's like
True.
tutorials. There's like entertainment on there. But yeah, a lot of the kids that I grew up with, we spent our free time playing like Super Smash Brothers, like video games,
We
and
on the Wii.
yeah, on the Wii. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, because we have such a different context. um I'm really curious what the educational system is doing to be more contextual to the generation right now, because um
Mm,
are 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 they actually, are we actually setting up the the future generation for, because are we actually setting them up to fail or to succeed? And because things change, like
mm,
there's a lot of innovators who are like disrupting the course of humanity. Like
mm.
the invention of the phone just like pretty much destroyed the media conglomerates. Like before we could just watch cable TV, and y- media conglomerates would dominate, but right now it's like
Yeah. No, I think that like it's kind of up to because I definitely hear that a lot, just like that things are moving like super fast, and I agree to an extent. I think that in terms of like education wise, uh, maybe people and like institutions and schools are trying their best, but it's just not fast enough. You know, like
right,
I at this point, even with the rise of AI, which I'm starting to realize, like even at 22, like I'm kind of becoming too not too old for it, but it's like
You
it's
feel like you're too old for this AI stuff, or like
uh,
or
yeah, like kind of, because people are using it in schools. You know, people are using these services to help them with assignments. They're using it to
sure
actually like boost themselves
code.
up. Uh, you know, so yeah, it's definitely crazy, and I think that the everybody has to adapt, or
Right.
else technology is just gonna leave you behind. Um, but yeah, it's definitely a scary thought, because it's always gonna change. It's always gonna get better.
Right.
Yeah,
I've spoken to like most of the demographic that I bring on this show. How I've been leaning on to the youth culture of late, and I really
yeah.
want to learn, man. Like I think that's one way to stay young is like to. I'm a educator by profession, bro.
Oh,
So
awesome.
yeah, and have some stints of um, behavior. I also do some behavior stuff, like it's more clinical in a sense, but
Mm, mm.
um, I used to be a teacher, and I know teaching keeps you young because you always talk to kids, and I guess that's why it's so. I'm not surprised. Like I keep talking to the younger folks, and it makes much sense that you guys are the future. like like 50 years from now on, like I'll be 6 feet underground, or who knows, I'll be in a wheelchair. But you know, it's so fascinating what technology and will bring, and then how we as the human beings adapt to that. Because I think there'll come a day, like you know, AI is just gonna be the next. It's it got next. You know, we
Yeah.
we'll probably be in some museum in a
Oh,
sense.
oh, you're saying like it's gonna
Yeah,
replace humans,
yeah. I
like
think
as a
yeah, like Terminator stuff, Skynet kind of shit.
oh, I don't know about anything like that. I mean, yeah, I
I
definitely
get
think that this.
I have conspiracy theories, man. Like I listen
Mm,
to too much podcasts, like, but you just can't help but entertain the idea of that. Like it's even caught us by surprise by now. Like it's
that's
so
true.
fast. Like what if the AIs develop a conscience, you know? And
Oof.
what if
Then there's nothing we can do.
right?
We could try to like throw water on them, but short circuit them. But no, I don't think there's anything we could do in that case. But
Have you
yeah.
seen this video that went viral of a piece of video, like an artwork, like from a caveman, it evolves into this kind of AI being, like from a monkey, and then I'll probably
Oh,
show
oh,
you.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Like what it projects humans to look like
in the
in
future,
the future. Yeah, I've seen a few videos like that. It's definitely
scary,
trippy. It's fun to fun and scary, I think, depending on who
right?
you ask to I guess imagine that stuff. But I don't know. I think that is likely very far in the future, and maybe in a different timeline. Like I don't know if that's what we're looking at, but you never know. I mean, maybe our children are going to be fighting off Terminators.
I don't know, and they got, and then the circulation of UFO sightings everywhere. They know the
Mm.
media is trying to normalize that now. Like, what the hell? Like, we've been speculating this for like such a long time, like 50 years ago. Like, why normalize it now? Like, so crazy.
I don't know. I don't know. I tend to stay away from
Yeah,
conspiracy theory stuff.
best to stay away from them.
Yeah,
Don't follow your uncle.
yeah, it could be very easy to slip into
It's
that.
it's a rabbit hole, bro, and you can get it's an endless rabbit hole, like if you entertain this kind of information. And plus, given the web internet right now is it's an endless loop of information.
Yeah, yeah, that's very true. Uh, I wonder, have you seen the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once?
Have not.
Oh
Where
my
can I
goodness.
watch it?
I don't know where I saw it like 4 times in theater. I think that it gives.
Four
I'm not sure.
times.
Yeah,
You must
yeah.
be you must be obsessed.
Uh, I don't know about. I really liked it. I
Right.
really like. I really liked what it was kind of speaking on. It touches on a lot of different topics, like uh, Asian American experience, but also what it's like. It tries to, I think, give a representation of what it's like to kind of grow up online. And I don't know.
Right.
I feel like you would like it. I think that you'd take something from it.
Oh, for
Uh,
sure.
hopefully a good thing. But yeah, I'm not sure where you can find it right now. But yeah, I would consider
Yeah,
you
I'll
know.
definitely look it up. Yeah, because the online life is so fascinating to me,
Mm.
and it's just it like the just 2020 just like really magnified it. Made it official that the digital world exists. You know,
Well,
uh,
wait, speak on that. What about 2020?
a COVID.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh.
you must have
Okay.
forgot. You were too busy making music, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
You were in your
Uh,
own bubble.
yeah, it's like that's actually true. Like I didn't. Unfortunately, like I'm super. Uh, Not just even about COVID, but just about sickness. Like I'm very like I don't like getting sick.
Right.
Um, and so like throughout the height of the pandemic and stuff, like I was like very cautious, just because I didn't want to get other people sick. I didn't want to get sick. I think it's just like a courteous thing. But I ended up getting it twice, like after the pandemic, like just because
Oh
in the
yeah.
U.S. things got like
Speaking
yeah.
about that, like you I forgot to ask, like how rude of me. Like, how you feeling any better now? Like,
Yeah, yeah. I was
okay,
about to say like yeah. My second deal with COVID it just ended about a week ago, or just under a week ago. So yeah, I mean it
was
wasn't
there
too
any way
bad.
of knowing what kind of variant that was, or they just tell you like that the
Oh,
test tell you like, oh, you got COVID?
yeah, let me see. Just take just take these
Oh, there it
tests.
is.
Yeah, I don't think it has like
It
I don't
doesn't
think it
tell,
tells
right?
me yeah like what specific variant it is, but it tells me if I have it or not, and I definitely did for a long
Was it the
time.
same symptoms though?
Not the first time I got it, it was much rougher. The first time
Right?
I got it, it was like for 2 days I could barely
Couldn't
move.
do
I was
anything.
just yeah. This time I really didn't feel too much of anything. I think like it was definitely much more
What was
manageable.
giving it away? Like you were feeling under the weather, like the you felt cloudy up here or what?
Yeah, I felt like a little bit of a headache, but it
Brain
was
fog?
mostly yeah, like it was mostly just like in my lungs and stuff.
Right.
Like that's where it really gets you. But yeah, yeah, it was definitely I was stuck in my because before that I had a cold, so I
Right.
was my girlfriend had COVID, and so we were basically quarantined for like because we were in the same room, so obviously I was gonna get COVID afterwards. So
For sure.
yeah, it was crazy. We were quarantining for like 3 weeks, something like that. It was
That's quite
nuts.
long though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because it was like she got it and I got it. So for one reason or another, we were stuck in the room.
But luckily, like milder symptoms prevail. I got it.
Mm.
I got it too. I thought I was
Oh yeah.
invincible because I think 2020 that year like pushed everybody to live healthier. I felt like I
Mm.
was in the most tip top shape and nothing could stop me. And then like I came into contact with someone I know like had it, and then I just suddenly felt funny, and then like I had this
Yeah.
brain fog I couldn't get out of for 2 days, and I had chills on the first day, but the nasty feeling of not tasting what you eat,
Oh.
and that like having like can't even smell something bad, like how would you know it it smells bad. Like, you can't smell a thing. I hate that shit, man. Like,
Yeah,
oh, it's
yeah,
bad.
100. Luckily,
I'd
I
rather have
didn't.
a cold.
Yeah, yeah. Luckily I didn't get those symptoms. I mean, I got some
Lucky.
congestion to the point where I couldn't taste and smell, I guess, but I didn't like have a loss of it. But
Right.
especially with like Filipino food, man, like it's amazing. Like to
Yeah, are
not be
you a
able to
big
taste
fan?
that.
Are you a big fan of
Yeah,
Philippine food though?
yeah. I mean, when I was there, I can't wait to go back to the Philippines. Like
You
it's such
should.
a nice vibe over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, I love Filipino food.
Uh, like what's your favorite Filipino dish though?
I knew you were gonna ask me that like right after I said that.
Of course.
It's crazy because when I was in the Philippines, I was always moving with people, and
Yeah.
obviously they were locals, so I didn't do much ordering. I don't know all the
I
names,
know.
but
You leave it up to
uh,
them, huh? You just didn't. You just, at that point, like, oh, I'll eat anything.
yeah, yeah, because I mean I trust, I trust.
Right.
Uh, but like milkfish, I don't
Oh,
know
dude,
the name
that's
for it.
yeah.
But yeah,
That's our equivalent of like salmon.
yeah, it's super good,
It's
and
fatty.
yeah, there's like different soups and stuff that are so good. Uh and there's you know what I'm talking about. There's like a drink. It's made with a citrus, like a small citrus fruit.
Right, like lime, lemoncito juice.
Yeah, yeah. Wait, let me.
Yeah, that's our
Oh
equivalent
no,
of
wait.
the lemonade.
Calamansi, calamansi.
Yeah, calamansi. Yeah,
Yeah,
we call that lemoncito around these parts. Yeah,
lemon
calamansi.
yeah. It's oof.
That's our
It's
equivalent of the lemonade, bro.
it's beautiful thing, especially because it gets. I mean, like this is something I'm wondering. Do you consider like do you notice the heat and the humidity the same way that I did being like a visitor, or is it kind of just like oh like that's just how it is, or like every
Well,
single
like
day is like something to notice?
I haven't my skin and my body is not yet exposed to like I haven't been to like the US or
Mm.
Canada or colder countries, but I have been to like an extremely warm country. Like I used to work overseas
Oh.
in Dubai, and they have a pretty fucked up summer.
Mm.
It's like an oven. Like the minute you step out of the
Mm.
AC, you'll feel it, and there's no getting used to it. Like
Yeah.
it just burns you. Like, and when I went home for good, like around 2 years ago, I couldn't feel the humidity anymore.
Mm.
Yeah,
That's
it's
interesting.
strange. It just changed the way I was receptive to temperature. Like I enjoy this weather now. You know.
That's a beautiful thing. I remember when I hopped off the plane, I like stepped outside, and I was on a plane, so I was in like a hoodie and like a long pants, like it was
Oh
a
my
long
God, you
flight.
did not.
Yeah, so I like hop off the plane, I step outside, and I'm hit by this like
Heat wave.
wall of yeah, like heat and humidity. Uh, but yeah, I definitely get you. Like by a few days in, I started getting used to it. Like it started being normalized. So I guess that makes sense. But yeah, yeah. Milkfish, calamansi, and I mean, there's a lot of like different fried chickens and like fried foods there that are also
True.
really good.
Yeah. Have you been to one of the top Filipino fast foods over over there in the US? Like it's called Jollibee. Have you
Oh
tried that?
yeah, yeah, of course. I remember the first like studio session I ever did was with Pizza Palace, Cookies. It was when he was over here for
Yeah.
like his writing camp, and uh, I just I was kind of nervous, and I saw Jollibee on the way to the studio, and I like pulled in and got like a chicken joy 2 piece with the spaghetti. It's great.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's kind of a staple. Like when we Filipinos like go overseas, because I think our major export is manpower. Like we have a
Mm,
lot of overseas Filipino workers. When we go overseas, that's the first thing we look for. It's Jollibee.
I can understand why. It's a great restaurant. It's a great food.
Most of the folks you find inside Jollibee, they're craving this kind of nostalgia. Like, oh, it's just not,
Mm.
there's just nothing like it. Like, oh man, I just wish I was back home. And it's. I think it's the closest thing to a memory when
Oh,
you step inside. Yeah, those
that's
things are
beautiful.
priceless, man. Those things are priceless.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. I mean, yeah, I'll definitely like look at going to Jollibee different now. Like, to me, it was
Yeah,
just
but
great food, but that's a good point. Like it means a lot to a lot of people.
sure. Yeah, nostalgia is a great driver, man. Like a lot of people can't let go, and
I
that's
I,
why
I feel that.
it's a good way to use in a song. This
Yeah, I
song's
mean,
gonna bring you back fucking memories. You're gonna
mm,
love this song. It's gonna get you hooked.
I feel like a lot of my songs they I mean, it's funny to talk about it because we're recording this now before like even my first solo single drops. But yeah, a lot of the music that you're gonna be hearing from me is like gonna have like a nostalgic sound because like not
Yeah,
being able to let go is something I feel like a lot of people deal with,
yeah,
and
true.
I just want to I want to be able to share my perspective on things. Uh, I think you mentioned I'm not like a hip hop artist. I'm more of a
Yeah, yeah,
singer.
yeah. I
But
get you.
yeah, yeah. So I definitely want to. I need to share music with you too. I need to send you some stuff that I've been working on.
Please, please. I mean, these
Yeah.
are the things like I really love. Like what I do is like I get to have exclusive like
Mm,
premiering stuff, like a listening party with the artist. Like, hey, how does this sound? And I don't know, like at the moment, like I'm in such a momentum. Sometimes I fail to appreciate it.
mm.
I actually pinch myself. Like, is this real?
Wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing thing.
Yeah, because what we're doing, like, we're just exchanging energy. Like, you may be on the other side of the world, but we're talking right now, and
Yeah.
you may get caught in the momentum. Like, oh, anything goes. Like, we're such in a like happy state. Like, I will agree to everything you'll say, and I'm just gonna be a fan of your music. But sometimes, like,
Mm,
is this real? I really need to pinch myself. Okay, I'm about to listen to his songs, and I need to be in the present moment.
mm.
Bro, I've been doing this for like 3 years, and it's
Oh,
usually like
congrats.
what. Yeah, yeah. Thanks, man. Like, it's usually artists are really excited to share music, and
Mm,
then that's for me to be able to for an artist to come up to me like to see their confidence to share something like, hey, I made this piece of art. Like, would you fuck with it?
yeah.
I mean, of course, that's why I really need to be in the present. Like, yeah, we can definitely listen to some tracks. Um, I have a
I'm def-
question though.
yeah, go ahead.
Um, since uh, since you started become a artist publicly, have you had a
Yeah.
lot of love from your Filipino demographics?
I mean, yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
I think that like, I think it's kind of funny because I'll get like texts from people in
in
the Philippines.
Tagalog, in
Yeah,
Bisaya.
yeah, yeah, in Visayas mostly, I think. But yeah, they're just saying like, oh, like I'm at this cafe and they're playing like Sacrifices, or or they're playing
Oh
like what like
shoot!
Trends or one of these songs, and yeah, that's pretty cool to hear. Like, I think we got like radio play on a few stations and stuff, and Spotify has been giving a lot of love, which I definitely
Thank
appreciate.
God for Spotify.
Uh, yeah, for sure. And yeah, I definitely have been feeling the love. I think that right now, a lot of the people that listen to my music are probably localized in the Philippines. So
Right.
it's super cool. I have a lot of love for the Philippines.
Oh man, congrats! Like, you know what? these Filipinos, man, they're tough motherfuckers. Like they don't really dish out love that easily, you know.
Mm,
Yeah, it's tough to win where you're from. You know what I'm saying? Um, I'm just so happy for people who actually break out of that rut. You know, like
mm.
oh man, this. I don't know how long you've been doing this, or you just been doing it now, or you've been doing it for like 50 years or 30 years. But
Yeah.
mad props to you, man. It's not getting admiration from Filipinos or from where you're from. So tough case. Like, not a lot of folks can break out from that rut.
Yeah, I mean, I think just like that is like a thing, you know, like a lot of people, they can be, I think that reception is like a very important thing for an artist, especially when they're first starting out, you know, like at a certain point you might get to a level where you're like, oh, I don't really care like what people think about this stuff.
Right.
Uh, but I think that, you know, starting out, if people are not supportive of like what you're doing, you know, or you share something and you're vulnerable with them in that moment, and they're like, maybe they had a bad day, or maybe, you
Right.
know, like something, or maybe they're just an asshole, you know, like that can be like really discouraging if they're like,
Sure.
oh, like, oh, this
So
this
true.
isn't really that good, or oh, you should, you know, stick to this, or you know, like
And
I think
that could end it for you, right? Like if you're not strong up here, like that could like stop you from what you're passionate in.
yeah, I mean, especially for like a young person, you know, like that like seeks validation from others, especially like older people or peers and stuff. But yeah, like I've seen it happen, you know, and that's why like I've seen super talented producers and super talented people, they just get that like that point where it's like, oh, I can't handle, like, not that I can't handle it,
Right.
but it's like it's not, maybe it's just not right for me. You know, maybe I'm just not cut out for it. And I'm always I always try to be the person that's like, no, like you're good. You know, like just keep it
Yeah.
up. You know, keep at it, because I really do believe that, you know, like at the very least, like people can improve. You know, like
True.
they just working at it. It's
Or they're just probably at the wrong place or like the wrong environment or you know.
Yeah, yeah. I just think that people let the opinions of others dictate like what they're doing
Yeah.
a little bit too much. And obviously, I'm a I do that too. You know, like I'll definitely be affected by what people say.
True.
Not necessarily when the song's released, but like when I'm working on it. I
Oh,
you know,
really?
yeah,
On the actual process of making a song,
yeah. Because like my process
like
for yeah,
unreleased tracks. Sorry to keep cutting you off. Like
no, it's all good.
unreleased tracks, like unreleased tracks, or like you're just at the precipice of making it.
Um, Both, I guess. Well, yeah, I guess
Well,
more like unreleased tracks, because like I have probably nearing like 200 unreleased tracks that I made
oh
over
my
the past like
God,
few
they're
years.
just
I
waiting.
know, I know. I need to start releasing.
Right.
It's crazy, but yeah, like my the way I make songs is it depends, I guess, if I'm producing it, or now like people are starting to send me like beats and stuff. And if you want to send me beats, my email is beats for the letter four JWolf at gmail.com. Uh but yeah,
There you go,
so
folks. Send them your beats.
yeah, send beats, send instrumentals. But basically like my process is I'll like start with the chords, right? And then I'll
Right.
like make a very basic beat that has like the vibe of what I'm trying to go for. And then I just like immediately start writing to like whatever it feels like. Like the core of the instrumental has to have the feeling that I'm trying to convey before I start writing.
Okay. And
So
do you have like what Lou is using like a feels wheel? something. Don't tell
Oh
me.
yeah, so
Don't tell
no,
me. Don't tell me he sold you into that too.
no, no, it's just it's all in my all in my brain. It's just like
Right. Right. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It's
It's
a
just
instinctual, right? It's
yeah, because I mean, like that's how it starts off. Like with sacrifices, the way that those lyrics came about was, you know, we were just cookies, and I were, oh, and John Bain as well, which is an artist and writer out of Atlanta and producer. But we were just sitting there in the Discord call, and for like an hour before we were making the song, we were just like
right.
talking about like life. You know, we were just kind of getting to know each other, but like in a very like deep way. And we just started talking about like our backgrounds, and uh, yeah, it got to this point where he was telling about like, you know, the sacrifices that, you know, a lot of parents make for their kids when they like come over to the U.S., or when they you know put their necks on the
Immigrant.
line for
Yeah.
anything.
Immigrant life.
Yeah, 100%. So that's kind of like where the origin of the song came up. I was trying to write from the perspective of like my parents, and he was writing from the perspective of, I think, himself, like speaking to his like mother. So it was definitely like a beautiful
It's an
a thing.
homage. Yeah. I mean, in some sense, like we gotta pay homage to the elders.
Oh yeah,
But
always, always. I mean,
yeah,
there's so much to learn.
yeah. It's so strange. Like we actually live parallel lives. Like all generations' intent is the same. We all want to live. We all want to be loved.
Mm,
We all we all eat and probably take a dump same time. Like
yeah,
uh, it's just that the mediums change. I mean
yeah,
the changing times, the technology, the jargons that we use, the ideology, but I think the same software. Like we've been carrying on. Like this is evolution, bro. Like where we are right now. I mean,
yeah.
uh, I think if you place somebody, like if you take somebody from BC and you put them in today's world, I don't think he won't be. I think he'll be able to adapt because
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
basically the same. Like the hierarchy of needs.
yeah. I mean, it would be interesting to see how they would adapt. But yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with that to an extent. I think that at the core of every person's being, you know, yeah, they just kind of, they want to be heard, they want to be loved, they want to like be content with what they're doing. Yeah, there's a lot of like um, just basically essentials that people need for like a fulfilling life, and those things haven't changed too much.
No, they
um
have not. Is
yeah, you know.
except that like we keep demonizing. We keep the thing with us human beings is that we like to do the blaming game. Like
mm,
it's this fault. It's it's A and B's fault. It's my neighbor's fault. Like
mm.
but I think that hasn't changed too. Like we're still we're still those motherfuckers from back then. Like we haven't changed a whole lot. Like
Yeah, I think just the average person is just, we're all trying to just figure it out, you know,
yeah,
like take one step in front of the other, try to make every single day like the best they can be, and you know, fight off the demons that life is always presenting in
true.
front of us.
This is so important, bro, because at this point in time, we're gonna clip this, and this is footage, and this is documentation,
Mm,
and let's just treat this as like history. Like somebody's gonna dig this up. Like one day, you'll be as big as Michael Jackson or who else? Who else out there? The goat of music, Prince or whoever.
mm.
They're gonna wanna hear that. Like oh, for sure. Like we live normal lives. Like and it's tough because sometimes like when you're at this level of stardom, it's kind of polarizing. Like like it's man, it's like you're a god. Like it's something like that. Like for somebody who's a fan of some like a big star, like let's say Cookies, and
Mm.
somebody in my locality, like a small kid coming up, he would probably think that Cookies doesn't live a hard life, or he would
Mm.
probably think that Cookies has it good, or the next your next fan would think like 20 years down the line, like I didn't know JWOLF had these struggles.
Yeah, I guess it's that's definitely like something like because I mean I'm literally still in my like I have yet to put out my first like real solo single. Obviously shout out to One More Yesterday with Tiffany and Put Me in
Oh
Coach.
yeah,
But
congratulations
yeah,
though. It just dropped yesterday.
uh,
How ironic. One more yesterday. Oh no.
yeah,
This
no,
didn't
it's
drop
yeah, it
yesterday.
dropped a while ago. It dropped a while ago. But
Yeah, okay, yeah.
yeah, but I think that like yeah, like things are just like being easier to document, you know, which is like
True.
super interesting. Uh, but yeah, I think it was funny. Oh, I was in the Philippines during Halloween, so I guess it was in October. But yeah, I was and we saw on Instagram that I was with Cookies, and I saw that someone like dressed like him for Halloween.
Oh fuck.
Yeah,
Really?
which was crazy. It was crazy. That was so like sick to
That's some
see.
level of flattery right there. Like, man, I'll be impressed. Like,
Yeah, I mean, like, I think that idolatry is like still living and breathing. You know, like people just do it with other people. You know, which is
yeah,
to each their own, I guess. But it's definitely not as sweet as people think for someone like Cookies. You know, like
right.
he's worked like crazy hard to get where he
Yeah.
is, and yeah, like a lot of people probably found him through Sabak Daddy or Bogo or
Or
like some
Bogo,
of
yeah.
his hits, but yeah, he had like songs and songs and projects and stuff before that. You
Song
know,
after
like
song.
yeah, it definitely yeah, it doesn't come just for most people. It doesn't come like just in a night.
There's this one line from Just Raw and Cookies. They had this song, Giru.
Mm-hmm.
Like it says in our dialect, like wa sila kabalo, dugay ra ni na but it means like you guys don't know, like you think we have it good. We've been doing this all our life.
Mm-hmm.
Right, like and I think social media and the internet and technology, it bypassed a lot of things, and it just gave a window to, it gives the society in the world like a window to like our everyday life. And that, and we always, and what gets viral in these systems are like happy things, like celebrations, like trophies. And I don't think like struggles and failures are
Mm-hmm.
documented that well you know
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just kind of the nature of things, right? Like, it's very easy to fall into the rabbit holes of like social media, looking at, people putting their best selves out there. I think
Yeah,
this conversation's also been had. Like, I think people know this. Like at this
yeah,
point, that the lives that people portray on social media is like their social media like persona. It's like
yeah.
it's not 100% who they are. So, but yeah, it can be very easy to like still, even knowing that, like look at things and being like, oh man, like, oh, they have it so easy, or oh, like,
Oh,
uh,
I wish I was them right now,
I wish I was
something like
them, or
that.
like, oh, like where'd they come from? Like, people have been working for a long time, you know?
Yeah. And the thing is, like, uh we keep preaching to ourselves like, oh, I'm just gonna focus on myself, like, but until this day, like, it still gets to me. i
Mm.
guess i guess i guess I don't know if this is me, or if this is like the average human being who gets affected by what they see. But I don't know. Like, is there a study out there that shows like, like no matter how much we preach, like, I think this is human nature. Like, we
Yeah,
we
that's true.
really like to compare.
Yeah,
Like, you know,
yeah. I don't know about any studies, but I can tell you that as much as it's like the answers to happiness are kind of already out there. Like many of the answers to
right?
happiness and like fulfillment are out there, but human nature doesn't always seem designed for it. Like
I
we
know,
don't
right?
always. Yeah,
Why though?
I wish I could tell you. Sometimes I just wake up and it's just like,
And
um,
imagine how people lived back then. Like, if the intent was the same, how did this manifest back in the day? Like, I mean, I guess we're so lucky, still lucky that um, most of the wars, literal wars that are
mm,
happening or going on right now, are happening digitally or virtually. But I don't
mm.
know, like we can't see them. What
I mean, like
that
even like wars are happening physically. Like people, like it's so different. Like even being able to for us to see like HD footage of like horrible things that are
yeah, for
happening like
sure.
around the world. I think the thing is like just touching on what you were saying, what people might have done back then. I'm not sure, but I think a big difference is like if people were having a bad day, they could kind of just like have a bad day. But now, like if we're
Right.
having a bad day, we have to not have to, but we can look online and see everyone else having a great, like perfect
uh,
day.
it's nice to like find somebody else, like, because misery loves company. And then, if I feel like shitty as fuck, just let me find another uh human being out there who feels the same way. Oh
Yeah.
man.
When I'm sad, I don't know. I want to be alone. I don't.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
So
mean,
I see that
I,
thing.
I think we get. I guess we have like different coping mechanisms,
Mm,
and
true.
I'm just so curious, like how the majority of human beings back then did it. Like,
Yeah.
we just have it so good, I guess. Like right
Yeah.
now, we're so lucky.
Yeah. I think that that's a great way to put it.
Hey, we've hit on and touched on so many tangents here, bro. Like we
Yeah.
haven't even talked about the music. Hey, well, I'm really curious though. You did mention like your parents were kind of traditional, right? Like, so were you
Mm.
forced also in a traditional path, like fresh off from school? Like, are you currently employed? Like, are you doing a 9 to 5, or are you
Yeah.
working for someone or what?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Like I went through uh, college. I did uh, well enough to get into a pretty good school, uh, and I just graduated in June with a degree in business economics and a minor
Congrats,
in
man.
accounting. Thanks. And yeah, like I'm on. I've worked later today. Like it's definitely
Oh,
yeah. I
thanks for
have
doing this though.
oh yeah, 100%. But no, I think that like I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with following a traditional path when you
Right.
know that your calling is something different. Like when you know that your interests lie in a passion or like something else. Because for me, I just think to myself in the lanes of like, oh, like any money or experience that I've gained in this, like I can bring it to the things that I like really love doing or really enjoy doing. Um, so yeah, I have a 9 to 5 that I'm going to later today.
Oh, congrats, man. Like I miss that feeling though. I really do.
What do
Uh,
you mean? Speak on it.
yeah. I used to do 9 to 5. Uh,
Mm,
I've been doing it in a while though, because I've been doing freelance stuff. So working in your own time. Like I have yet to feel again the structure of having to work in a certain specific time,
mm,
having to wake up early, and do your commute, because I basically work from home now.
Mhm.
I'm kind of falling in love with it. I don't
Yeah.
wanna I don't wanna work home all my life. Like that's why I really love doing this. Most of that, like I haven't done this in a while too. Like having a podcast like virtually.
Hmm.
Um, because I'm such a flexible guy. Like I do podcasts whenever and wherever I can. If I can do it on my mobile, I'll do it on mobile. If somebody can hook me up with equipment, I'll for sure like do equipment with them. Like have like a full studio setup, like a podcast. Like I'm down for that. This is such a DIY setup. Like how just a webcam. This I'm so used
Yeah.
to this kind of setup now, and it's tough. Like I've fallen in love with this, and sometimes like I get scared of the idea of having to go back to like 9 to 5. Um,
Interesting.
yeah, but I kind of miss it though.
Yeah, I mean, I think that like uh many human beings like crave structure, you know, like
Yeah,
not necessarily like what they're doing in that structured time, but like, you know, it's nice to be able to like check off the little boxes, and it's nice, you know.
right,
Um and I think that, you know, even like entrepreneurs, like a lot of the, you know, people that do things on their own time, they still like segment it, you know, they still like make to-do lists, they
right.
still like, you
Actually,
know.
you know what these guys do? They actually pretend they're working.
Speak
Yeah,
on
no,
that.
just to have the feeling like to have a
Oh,
routine.
I get what you're
Yeah,
saying.
yeah. They pretend like the operating and all the entrepreneurial stuff is actual work, because it's still work at the end of the day. Like
Yeah.
they have to work their butts off for their for their shit to succeed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally. But yeah, uh, what were
just
you
like with
doing for
music,
your?
right? Like you're working, you're that's actual work, man. Like I just
Yeah,
hate when folks demonize art as not actual work. It may not translate into finances at the start, like, but watch and see.
I mean, yeah, like anything that take it just depends on what you classify as work. Like, if work to you or to somebody has like a, inherent like monetary thing attached to it, then yeah, I mean, I like a lot of things I guess aren't work, but you
Right.
know, if you just define work as something that you like, just like effort, like I'm putting work into this, I'm like putting like time, effort, thought into something,
And they're all the
then yeah,
same,
a
bro.
lot of what.
They're all the same, like monetary
Yeah,
time and effort.
yeah,
Like they're all currencies at some point. Like,
yeah,
energy. They're energy.
totally. Yeah, it's just like it's all different ways of saying the same thing. But yeah, I guess there are people that like try to demonize like art and the arts, and you know, like things like that. But I really think that for the person that's working on the stuff, and notice how I did say working, it's like because I just believe that you are putting your all into something, you're trying to like put in input, get out output, like however that manifests, it's all work, you know.
True. It's just that the current currency of society right now and for such a long time is money. Is the universal language that talks and speaks and probably buys you time or buys you anything.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it can buy you. Well, I guess in some ways it can buy you time. In some ways it can buy you
Yeah,
happiness. But I think that it's important to make sure that you have, and you know, using the language that you use, like multiple currencies in your mind at all time. You know,
true.
like it's not just important to uh, focus on money, but it's also not just
Correct.
good to focus on, uh, you know, on time, because you can't get too focused
Yeah,
on
you
things.
become a slave to time,
Yeah,
right?
because it passes every single millisecond of the day, you know. So it's like if you're too focused on the past or the future, it can, you know, you could definitely
Uh,
become a slave to time for sure.
Definitely. And I think that's fear, you know,
Mm.
the way fear manifests, because I think human beings were groomed in such a way to be fear based. We have lived such a dangerous life. I mean, human beings in the past, like, the average lifespan was around like 50, 40, 60 or something. Like,
Right now?
I mean, in the past,
Oh
like,
yeah, I mean
yeah,
even earlier. I think like
right?
there was a time period where it was like in your 30s, like
Yeah.
you
People
could
were
you
so, that's what I guess people were so critical back then. Like, oh man, I just can't afford to do this and do that. And, I guess that's why people are afraid of the past and in the future. Um, the
yeah.
present is so hard to be in the present at times.
Yeah, I mean everything's always trying to take you out of it, I think. Like just because, I think life demands a lot from people. Definitely more from some than others, but it demands something from everybody.
Yeah.
And yeah, a lot for many people that thing is time. Like
And guess what? Who makes those demands on themselves? It's not life, man. It's
mm,
us.
that's
We
true.
we make those demands on ourselves, and we act. It's so funny. I just realized this like recently. Like, I put myself in this situation. I put myself in this hole. Like, I could be just forget everything right now and live in the mountains. Live a
Yeah,
simple life.
yeah. I think that a lot of people forget stuff like that. Is that like we keep ourselves here, and but like I don't know. I think that life can be like a beautiful thing. It just
Yeah,
depends
true.
on how you think of it.
Yeah,
I mean,
forget it.
I'm
If you find good, you find good. If you look for bad, there's the bad. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, and it's also like human beings are so like like quickly. I think people don't talk enough about how much people change, like in like short
Oh
periods of
yeah,
time. Like
right. We're never the same.
yeah. I mean, we can feel like so many different things just in one day. Like
Right.
and we're slightly different people every single time, and we're slightly different people as the day goes on and we get more tired or we get more
True.
fatigued
We
and
get
more
moody.
things on us. Like you you talk to me on a different day, I'll have a very
We have
more
different
like
answers.
yeah, I'll have different answers for what I think life is and all
Okay.
this stuff. But
A segue though. Is this the best time to talk to you though? Like, are you a morning person?
yeah, I mean I tend to wake up like every day at like 5 in the morning.
Oh man, I'm so jealous of you.
I it's like I can't not, like
Right.
there's
Is it?
some
Is it?
days where
I'm curious. I keep cutting you off, but
no, it's okay, it's
I
okay.
really have to ask because um, does that attribute to like the immigrant lifestyle or like the household or the fat or like from your family background? Like, everybody needs to get up early.
Yeah, like
Right.
I guess I haven't always thought of it in that way. That's an interesting point. But I'll just say that yeah, like from a very young age, like sleeping early and waking up early were like very deeply ingrained into me, which doesn't always fit with the because now I can't not wake up at like 5. Like I don't need an alarm or anything. I just wake up like same
Yeah.
like within 5 minutes of the same time like every single day, and that like causes issues because like you're in the studio, you're making music, like I can go until like 3 in the morning, so if I'm going to sleep at 3, waking up at 5, and then I can't take like naps and stuff throughout the
Right.
day, I'm just one of those people. It can be like definitely draining, but yeah, definitely that was pressed into me from a young age, is like waking up as like early, getting good breakfast in, like like a
Yeah.
lot of like
Another. I got asked too. Have you like lived a frugal life, like that immigrant life? Like, you have to earn everything. Like, oh, I only have this kind of allowance, and this is the budget. Like, oh shit, I can't spend so much.
yeah, totally,
Oh,
yeah,
I like that. There's a lesson in that, bro. Like,
oh yeah,
people need to be humble and realize like you have to fucking live within your means.
yeah. I mean, like I guess it's difficult for me to even speak on because it's like it's just inherent to me at this point, you know,
Right.
because like you're raised with it, so it's like talking about the way that you brush your teeth in the morning. It's like I don't think
You don't
about
even
stuff
think it's
too
just
much.
it's like muscle
Yeah,
memory at
yeah,
this point.
just like yeah, but you know, thinking more on it, it's like yeah, that's true. Like being frugal, living within means, something that's been pressed in like into my brain from a young age, and I think that's like one of the better things that you know I've learned from yeah.
Yeah, because we live in such an age where like capitalism, and we're taught to consume, you
Mm.
know, like we're taught to like just buy stuff, and it's they just s- shove it to our faces like this is society, you know,
Mm.
and keeping up with the Joneses. I think it's important to like really be self aware, like does that really make us happy and all that stuff? Like, do we really have to?
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, like I think that people need to be given the chance though to like really learn themselves, you know, and really get to know themselves because like you won't know
Until you
your
try.
spending
Yeah,
patterns even. You know, you won't know like the things that like you need versus things you want without slipping up here and there or without like you know uh having a struggle, you know? Like
right.
I think that when it comes down to it, people just need the opportunity to be able to make mistakes and
True.
learn from them.
Yeah, and be accountable too. You know.
Oh yeah, I mean of course, but I think also accountability comes with experience and like messing up.
True.
You know, like you
Yeah.
can't really hold yourself accountable if you know it's your
You don't
first time.
even know what the
Yeah,
difference is, right? Yeah, yeah.
exactly. Like I think that you know it's super important for people to be able to um, like make mistakes and learn from them because that's how
Hey,
you.
yeah, I got a quick question for you. Are you still good with time? Like, are you in a hurry to get to work or something?
Uh, Let me see. No, I'm still good. Yeah, I'm
Okay,
definitely
cool,
still good.
cool,
Yeah,
cool.
I'm having a good convo.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah, we can talk more about music. We can talk about whatever, man.
Yeah. I wanna segue what we last talked about. Um, Given that, like, back then, like, I don't know which era that was. Like, that it seems like there's just no room for mistakes.
Mm,
And given what we just last said, like, we need to be in that situation, like, to realize like we're fucked. Like, oh, I know that I fucked up, right? And that's where the learning comes from. Like, um, it can be Michael Jordan every time, like, win six championships. Like, that's just that's like a free. Like, that's such an outlier, right? And
I mean,
the real theme in life is actually we fail. Like, that should be on a pedestal, man.
yeah, I agree. I mean, like imagine if you were like not afraid to fail. You know, imagine how many things that you would
Oh my
try and
god,
like
it would be unstoppable.
eventually, yeah, like for people, and it's so few and far in between. And I don't know 100% the reason. I don't know if it's just like in our nature to want to succeed all the time and like be afraid of not succeeding, or if it's a cultural thing. It's probably a mix. You
Yeah,
know, it's what I found is a lot of things is usually like you know, nature versus nurture. It's usually
right.
like some sort of nurture exploiting or affecting like nature that's already there. You know, it's probably like the like many aspects of culture that are affecting people's ability to view failure in like a positive way. Because even like talking about it now, like you know, in a more like discussion style, it's like I'm still scared of failure in many things, you know, like I think a lot of people are, but imagine if you weren't, you know, how much you'd probably be able to accomplish, you know, like people, I, it's kind of like a paradox, right? Because like I feel like
Yeah,
we need to be more okay with seeing ourselves fail to be more open to the idea of other people, you know, and like supporting them, you know, because I think when we see ourselves fail, we see other people in us or us and other people, and it becomes this like very like weird cycle where people. I just think that people need to have more empathy for others and like
True.
give people the more like the chance to fail.
Yeah, and the benefit of the doubt that he's gonna make it, right? Like
But even if someone doesn't make it, it's like they're trying. Like
trying. Yeah,
trying is like is the is like what everyone has to do, and then some people will make it. Like
true.
but everyone has to try.
So true, man. Uh, I wonder how, because this is like a ongoing conversation. Um, Failure. I wonder how that will look like and how that will be perceived as in the next coming years, like 10 years from
Mm,
now on or 20, right? Like, I wonder how people will look at the failed marriage or
mm.
um, failed career in music or a failed attempt at life or a failed attempt at being a good human being, and then now you end up in prison or something like that. I wonder how people will perceive failure in the coming future.
Yeah, I wonder too. I don't know. I think that people were reaching this like weird um like moment in time, not moment in time, but just like yeah, like time period where because things like failure can be like so publicly
Yeah, shit.
displayed. Like everything can be so publicly displayed. It's like making more some people more cynical, and it's making some people more empathetic. So it's like kind of like driving this divide where it's like you know I think that that's like a good and bad thing, but it's definitely making more people open to the concept of like something not working out and just like supporting people regardless, just
Yeah,
supporting the spirit of them versus like supporting people based by their accomplishments.
true.
you know
Uh,
uh
uh, Accomplishments on a pedestal. Like, since when did that become cool? Oh my goodness. And I think it's also prevalent in society. Like, we love trophies, we love tokens, we love our sneaker
yeah.
collection, we love our like
Well, it's like a marker, right? It's something to tell, like, oh, how are you? How are
how we're doing.
It's like if you don't know somebody, right?
Yeah.
Or if you're trying to get to know someone, that's like an easy way to like
And
kind of get to know them.
yeah, and bro, and I think that's the future moving forward too. I kind of noticed you have a like really strange name in Instagram, bro. Anti-genre. Did you
Oh
do that
yeah,
on purpose?
yeah,
Hold on.
and I can talk on that just a little bit because it's still like it's so funny like talking to things that are like happening like real time, like
Oh, okay.
ideas I'm trying to develop develop like real time, but basically. Oh man! First of all, I'm wearing like a strap shirt. It's like a company out of like a clothing skate company out of the Philippines.
Oh,
So I just wanted
Strap. Yeah, shout out
yeah,
Strap.
strap. So yeah. But I have an anti-genre shirt that I had made by a friend of mine. But um, I think that like anti-genre to me is this idea of being able to make music and make art and not be necessarily defined by like expression or defined by a genre or defined
Right.
by form.
A label.
Like I think that something that I've found is that depending on, I mean, like I said, a ton of unreleased music, but depending on
Right.
like what you hear from me, you know, like, oh yeah,
I'm
depending
sorry.
on like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Sorry. Yeah, carry on, man. I'm
oh
just
yeah, like
sharing the screen.
depending on what you hear from me, like if you hear the song that Pizza Palace song that just dropped, Butter,
Yeah.
right? Like it's a great song, and that's definitely more of like a hip hop vibe.
Right.
But
Please don't waste
like
my time.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
exactly. Um, and that studio session was crazy for sure. But like I feel like a lot of the music that I make is kind of I'm still trying to find like what my sound is. You know, the
right.
song that I'm
Oh yeah,
dropping.
you're just fresh into this, right?
Yeah, like Oh No
You're
It's
just
Love is
curious.
like such a different vibe from like Butter or Sacrifices or anything
Right.
else. So anti-genre is just like the ability to like experiment and like be free from form.
Yeah, be free from. Yeah, I like that. I like that. There's this thing. Um, I have an ideology, and it's I try to turn it to a clothing, and I like to call it beta.
Nice.
You know, it's
That's
I have an excuse to fuck up. You know, I have an excuse to like. You know, it gives me a it gives me this ability to like yeah, but it's still beta. You know, like
mm,
I like that feeling. You know, like I'm still the feeling of
like
something
still work
new.
in progress.
Yeah, the infatuation of something that gets you obsessed about everything about it. You know that something like that actually dies. Some people, for most, I think, um, some passions die. But you know, when I get reminded of this, like
Mm,
I just really want to stay in this feeling forever. Like you know,
that's beautiful.
yeah,
That's a great thing.
true. And that's why I want to turn it to a lifestyle. I hope I
Yeah,
hope
yeah.
I hope people fuck with it. Uh, okay. Now that we talk about anti-genre, I want to talk about this, and I was alluding to earlier. Your profile picture says
Yeah.
it's just no ordinary profile picture. If I'm not mistaken, or you can correct me if I'm wrong, this is an you probably an NFT token you bought somewhere, or just you just decided to put this out there because you're trying to communicate something to whoever's gonna land on your page.
That's interesting that you said it's not an NFT token.
All
Definitely
right.
not. But I guess I never thought of it like that because I guess yeah, a lot of NFTs have like that sort of profile. You know, like the apes and
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
But
those board apes.
uh,
Yeah. Mhm.
yeah, but no. This is actually the cover. Like it's a the cover of my next single. Oh no,
Oh
it's
shoot!
love.
Really? Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
cool.
I made it that. There's like some like meaning behind it.
Yeah.
But
What
yeah, I just
message
thought
were you
that.
trying to send though? That you have an up yeah you have a new release coming up. Was just that direct message you wanted to show everyone, or if there's another underlying meaning to it?
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like in so the single is about um like somebody that is unfamiliar with the concept of like love, right? Like and
Oh,
they find themselves like falling in love, and
right.
it can they interpret it as a bit of like a scary feeling, you know, something that's like falling on them or crashing on them, versus something that you know most love songs, you know, depict love in like such a positive way, which you know
True.
ultimately of course it is. But you know a lot of people, they might not be open to the idea of it. You know,
True.
it can be you know, like scary for a lot of people. So I just this cover art to me is just like it's kind of like an alien, like looking at something in the distance with kind of like a face of awe, like a look of awe on its face. And I think that
Yeah.
that kind of like
It's love.
captured, yeah, almost perfectly. You know, because the expression you can't really tell what it
True.
is, but they're looking at something. And yeah, that's kind of the profile picture.
Yeah. Interesting. Now I know that's the cover for the
Yeah,
single. Okay, you heard it here first.
yeah.
uh,
Pre-save that.
uh,
Pre-save. I know it's love.
please pre-save this, please. When is it
Yeah.
dropping though?
It's dropping at the end of this month. It's dropping
Oh, cool.
March
Just in time.
31st.
31st, just in time. Is this a
Yep.
summer song? Like, were you aiming to for it to be like have a summer vibe,
Um, no,
or you?
it's definitely, yeah, it's not like really related to the season.
All right.
I'm putting out a project in like the beginning, middle of summer, and that's gonna be more like of a summer vibe. But this is
True.
something I just wanted to make a statement with like my first like solo single, and I feel like this it definitely gets the point that I wanted across.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, because it did get my attention. Okay. I was about to get to this anyway. So we, like how, please don't get offended by this.
Go
This is
ahead.
actually fashion. Um, Social media is, or the inter. I mean, this is actually communication right here. You're trying to communicate something to me that you have something new coming up,
Mm,
and just like the concept of social media, wherein you get to change your profile pictures, it's the same concept as we get to change what kind of sneakers we wear today. Are we going to put on our beaters? Are we going to put on our holy grails?
mm.
Or, yeah, uh, have you ever thought of that way? Like, social media, NFTs, and the way we get to change our profile pictures, the way we just can comment anything we want is always a statement every time. It's digital fashion, bro.
That was really well said. Yeah, I guess I've never I've thought about it in like the sense that I was talking about before, where people like I guess I never thought of it as like digital fashion, more of like it's digital currency, like being able to
Yeah.
like show people like the best version of yourself to kind of like
True.
sell
Yeah.
up your own like best lifestyle. But yeah,
True.
that's like a solid point. Yeah, like things can be like so interchangeable. You can send and delete. You can comment anything
Mm-hmm.
you want. You can or almost anything you want. You can change things, make statements. But it's a good parallel to like
Yeah.
the
And
statements that people make.
check this out. Um, it may be the crypto winter right now, and so like NFTs also in the winter. It's having like it's hibernating right now in winter, because
Mm.
it's the crypto space is it's such in a bear market as of late. But when the mass adoption of this technology, the Web3, I'm not so sure if you're familiar with that. The idea of having a wallet where you can have all your NFTs in it, and people can see what kind of NFT collection you have. Like, imagine,
Mhm.
like, who would you have in your wallet? Of course, your most special, your prized possessions, right? Your
Yeah.
tokens, like your family, like your credit card or your identification. Those are the kind of things. Your ticket to somewhere, a plane ticket, and they put that in a digital wallet where people can just actually see who you are, what you're like, and the songs you fuck with, the concert you've been to, just
Yeah.
like that. Oh man, like I don't know what kind of society we'll have by then. It's such
Yeah.
it's
It's definitely interesting to see how things evolve for sure.
And how we judge other people is we're gonna
Yeah.
make quick judgments just based off on like digital assets like tokens. Thing, does will it actually give the full context of a human being, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think that for me, it's like it's I try to like, and that's like such a difficult thing now that I'm like wanting to make uh or like release music and stuff. Like I was so not really on social media outside of like yeah like consumption
Oh
for
my
sure, but
god,
like
I feel the same way, man. Before this whole
yeah.
thing started, now I have to be in social media. Shit.
Yeah, so it's definitely like a foreign thing that I'm still kind of getting used to. Um, but yeah, no, I definitely get what you're saying. It can put a lot of pressure on people to like post the best thing, or to
Right.
like craft things or to like literally physically change aspects of memories of like real things, like to
Yeah.
augment them, to make them
Augmented.
more
True.
that like approachable or whatever.
And
Um,
the thing is, you 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 may have to curate your life in such a way like it's not true to you anymore. Like, oh no, I need to keep appearances. Like, oh, I need to keep face.
yeah,
Oh,
that's true.
I have a question though. Were you ever put in a situation wherein like this isn't me anymore? Like, I mean, when music started for you, like, were you did you ever feel that way? Like, ah, man, like this is not natural.
Um, not yet. I definitely can see how like stuff like that can or could happen. I mean, I guess the only times are if like I'm in the studio or I'm like being sent a beat. I'm trying to like make a song, and it's just not working out. You know, it's
Yeah,
just
it's
like
not
it's like
vibing.
yeah, like oh, I'm trying too much to fit this vibe versus like letting it be like more my thing. You know,
Right.
like if like I said, I'm not like a hip hop artist or a rapper or anything like that. So when people send me like yes, like sometimes I'll like do my best to like
Just to
if
accommodate.
yeah, no, no, not accommodate, but like to adapt to it. You know, like
Right.
if Pizza Palace or if Vanilla, like one of the greatest producers that I
Yeah.
know, like out of Bake Shop, he if they send me beats like that, then I'll do my best to kind of like ride with it. But um, those are like definitely some moments if like I'm making a song and like I realize that it's not coming like naturally, then if it's not coming naturally, then I'm trying too hard. I'm trying like
Right.
to make it sound like something. Uh, because I
How
really find
how
that
does
like
it
my
feel to be the bearer of bad news? Like, hey, bro, I have to say, like, I have to give this back.
it doesn't feel good. I really like
Right.
being able to like get a song in. I really and I think so
Yeah.
far I have a pretty good record with like
Right.
like my process is like really quick. I'll write or produce or stuff like very quickly. So sometimes like within an hour or two of like people
Get
sending me
get
stuff, I'll
stuff.
have something for them. But yeah, there will be times like talented people. They'll send me like songs or they'll send me beats, and it's just like I don't think that. And usually I'll know like really quick, so I won't like leave them hanging. I think that would be really
Right.
whack if
Right.
you just left someone hanging. So yeah, if they send me something that I don't think I'm gonna do, it doesn't feel good. But I'm like, you know what, this is great. I
Hey,
just don't think that it's something
it's
that could
it's
work.
getting used. I mean, something that getting used to, like saying no. I mean, like we're so used to
Be-
saying yes all the time.
because it's also like it's probably best for the song. If
True.
I hop on the song and I don't give what they want or I don't give what the
Right.
song needs, then it's like it's not helping anybody.
Yeah. So true.
But yeah,
Hey, man. Like, I hope. Yeah, you have something. You have
no, no, go,
something
go
else to
ahead, go
say.
ahead, go ahead.
Yeah. I think. Well, I had a good time. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. This is so wild. Like, man, another 2 hours in this. Like, shit. It's just like
Y-
it's like I've known you all my life. Yeah. It's so podcasting is so fucking weird.
Yeah,
Mm,
I mean, like you're super easy to talk to. It was definitely
mm.
it felt like a natural conversation. Like it was just like talking. Like I just looked at the timer for like the first time. Like I didn't
Oh,
even know
really?
that we
Time
I will
flies,
write.
man. Especially when you're like, I don't have a good time. It's like, I can barely notice. Fuck, it's 2 hours in. Oh, shit. So
Yeah.
1 a.m. around these parts.
Oh,
But
that's
no, no,
true.
no, no. It's fine. I usually sleep late anyway. That's why
Mhm.
I get jealous when you said like you like wake up at 5 a.m. Fuck this
Mhm.
guy, like young. He has natural melatonin in his body. Fuck, he
Yeah,
just
yeah.
falls asleep easy. Hey, I really have a good time, and it's nice to talk to you, bro. Like, never would I have imagined in my life I get to have a platform, and I think it's our responsibility to talk to folks and show the world like different sides of human beings, not just
Yeah.
artists.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate your questions and stuff, and yeah, I had a good time for sure. The conversation as
Yeah,
well.
let's talk again soon, man. But before I let you go, though, we have a signature question in the show.
Hmm.
The name of it, this podcast is called Huge Upside, and
Mm.
if you were to ask me, I don't know the meaning. Okay, because it's something
Okay.
that's personal. I mean, it's different for everyone. It's vague enough, and you can have your own. What's your own huge upside, though?
you're gonna have to cut this, not cut this, but I want to answer this question right.
Sure.
Um, you know what? I think that the huge upside from my perspective is the human spirit. I think that people's willpower, and I think that the indomitable human spirit is like every single person's huge upside, because regardless of the level of privilege in like people's lives, like people have struggles every single day, like people are going, your best friends might be going through things that you don't even know about, and I think that the fact that people can persist and adapt and their spirit will live on, I think that is the huge upside of human beings.
There you go. I don't need to cut that. Served by yours truly, Jay Wolf. Man, you got new material coming up soon by the end of the month. Like, where can people find this though?
Yeah, I just look up JWolf on Spotify and at virtual JWolf on Instagram. And yeah, Oh No It's Love is coming out March 30th, 31st, depending on what time zone you're in. Friday, that Friday. So yeah, yeah, check me out. I have a lot of stuff. Yeah, I'm literally in the
200.
beginning.
He has 200 uh, beats and songs in his
Yeah,
archive.
I have
Bro,
like
that's
a
crazy.
vault of unreleased music that I'm gonna start putting out, starting with this song. So I'm really excited to meet a lot of new people.
Oh man, enjoy the ride, bro. You're in for the long haul. Seems like you're in a space. You're mentally, you're in the right space, I guess. Like, yeah, I can tell. And bro, continued success. And I really appreciate you having to do like this 2 hour podcast with me. And let's do this again
Oh, what?
soon.
No, yeah, it's not having to do. I really, I'm really honored. This is
Oh,
like I
thank you,
said, my
bro.
first solo
Oh, it
podcast.
is. Yeah.
Yeah, first solo interview or whatever. So it was a great time. I really
Oh,
appreciate
thanks,
you, man.
man. Appreciate that, bro. And let's do this again sometime soon. Uh,
Yeah, I'm down. Whenever you want to have a conversation, you can hit me up.
let's
We could do it
go.
on camera, off camera, whatever you want.
There you go. J Wolf, everyone. Please pre-save. Oh no, it's love. You can hit up his accounts and social, or just check it out on Spotify. It's March 31st. I have to
That's right.
say, bye everyone. And I want to thank J Wolf for hopping on the show. Thanks, bro.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Bye, folks. Peace out. I'll just end this. Let's have the backstage.